Well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to On Loose Lines. Paul Campbell. Don't know why I said that, but I did. And yep, welcome everyone to the show. Big show tonight. Of course, got a few guests coming on. I expect people to be coming on. I've got Alex Ashwood, David Scott from Cranbourne Harness Racing Club, and Lance Justice, all to talk about the upcoming. Not sure what that one was. The upcoming new calendar, how it might look, how it might affect people in different ways going through there. These things all, anyone wondering what I am actually doing here, I'm just trying to get this so as I can get some of the comments up on YouTube. But hopefully people can come on. I just don't know why I can't get to the comments, but anyway, it won't do that. But yeah, please, if you want to get involved, especially on Facebook, get involved through the comment section, because that's what I encourage people to do. I will have Lance Justice on in a minute. Of course, there is a lot of other stuff going on. I've just recently got back from the Wheeling Sales in NZB. We'll talk about that. Have got Darren Clayton on at the end of the show with some massive news as far as a new race, a new idea, I suppose, for Queensland racing, if you like, going forward. So hopefully get to Darren by about 7 o'clock or just before 7 o'clock, depending on how long everyone else takes and goes through and gives me their thoughts as well. For Nutrien, the upcoming winter woolly sale starts next Monday, the 3rd of June, completed on Wednesday, the 5th of June. Very, very short. People need to be aware of this, so it is much shorter than what it has been for a long time. Monday the 3rd of June through to Wednesday the 5th of June. It finishes at 6 o'clock and then everything goes. Get in line, get your bid card, get your registration. It's an online sale with Winter Woolies. You go through Auction Plus. Contact Mark Barton or Gemma Smallman. Their phone numbers are there for more information. You can get in touch with both those guys. 205 lots under the hammer. This show next week will be devoted pretty much to that. Might even start a little bit earlier because we'll have plenty going on with that actual weekend. Probably need someone else online. We'll work that out as we go from there. Lukey Ralph, Stacey Lee, hello to you guys. Hope you're both well, Lukey. Good cameraman, the boys. So yeah, so plenty happening. Anyone wondering, before we get started too far, the new look calendar. This is how it looks at the minute. There's a bit of confusion. There's a few dates there that aren't filled. There's a lot of other racetracks that are not filled there at the minute as well. This is the interim part of it. Those Monday dates will be filled. They will be there, and I believe there could be a couple other day meetings, although not 100% sure of that. But the basic crux of it, Tuesday we'll be racing at Shepparton, Wednesday at Bendigo, and with the alternate of Charlton and Maryborough. But you can see there's already an anomaly there. That's Hamilton, to fit in with Hamilton, because a lot of people believe that it's set in stone, but it's not. It is flexible, so it will go Charlton, Hamilton, Charlton, Maryborough, and then Maryborough after that. Day meetings pretty much in the central Victoria. Thursdays will rotate from Kilmore. Great to have Kilmore back up and racing, and the new look track will be awesome. And Ballarat, Kilmore Ballarat, which is where they're racing tonight. We'll keep you up to date with those. Daniel Hibbard, my great mates, calling there. Fridays will be Melton and Geelong, but as you can see there, that's of a night time, but Melton and Geelong, but there is no Geelong because they're getting works done. I think they're getting a few good things upgraded, so that is good to see. And Mildura during the day predominantly, but you can actually see there that a couple of those ones in Mildura of a night time because the spots become available. So yeah, a lot of people are saying that it's set in stone and it's only this way. It is always very, very flexible. Melton on a Saturday as always, and then Sundays we'll go to Cranbourne, and that's one of the reasons that I wanted to get the thoughts of David Scott on a little bit later on. I will start straight off. We will get Lance on. I just got to be able to find his phone number. Actually, would be one of those ones. So we'll actually get Lance Justice on straight away, and hopefully he answers. That's for sure. Well, it's ringing, which is always a good thing. Always a bit worried. Did speak.
You have reached the message bank of.
Did speak to him just there before. We'll give him a minute or two, and hopefully he'll be better. He'll be ready to pick up. Otherwise, we might have to go to plan B. I did send him a text message. I can show you. I just sent him a text message to say that I'll call you just after 6. So hopefully he won't be too long and he will answer. And go from there. The Cranbourne Harness Racing Club are watching. David Scott will be on about 6:30, I reckon, Dave. If that's you watching, and if it is the actual club watching, we'll be getting him on hopefully around then. There could be a debate about face. We'll just see. Hopefully we can get hold of Lance or give Lance a couple of tries.
That's all right, yeah.
Good, thank you, Lance. I was starting to get a bit worried. I was thinking I had all this organised, and then maybe I wasn't sure. So I was worried that one.
No, what happened? I'm just chucking some rugs on for the girls. They've gone to Ballarat. They've left a couple unrugged.
It's always those fun jobs. I had to run out and do the feeds, half the feeds anyway for the girls, because they're out actually competing with horses. It's a very tiring time of year, and I suppose that's one of the reasons we're trying to do what we're trying to do at the minute. But thank you very much, one, for joining me. I've got 3 different guests on tonight. I've got Lance Justice on, was a trainer, now works at the board at HRV in a different role, but also then still have wife and daughter competing on the road quite regularly as well. So one of those reasons. Alex Ashwood is a trainer driver, competes all over the state, and then David Scott as a club participant. So I tried to break it up a little bit, Lance, but initially, mate, what were your first thoughts, I suppose, when you heard about the potential new calendar?
My first thoughts were that it needed to be done. Actually, Paul, can I call you back? I've got a lot of feedback on this line.
Nah, good as gold. Yep, not a worry. He must, shouldn't be me. No, it can't be me. So he's just going to call me back. He must, I think when you get that double feed coming back in and out, it can drive you nuts. Hopefully he'll call me in a sec. He might call me on a different number, but yeah, of course, Lance now works in the racing office, and I probably should touch base on that that position that he has there as well, with that going forward too. Because oh no, I can't do that. I've got something else coming on in a minute. Hopefully, he'll call me back in a sec. We'll just wait for him to get back to me. I can be trying. I suggest he's possibly moving to a little bit better area. Yeah. Thoughts on the Rowe Cup? Plenty of other stuff to get involved in here. Thoughts on the Rowe Cup as well. Auckland Cup, of course, Just Believe, what a champion horse he is. Just done a brilliant job there the other night. I was fortunate, very, very fortunate enough to be over there and seeing him. Give me your thoughts on the racing calendar. Don't be shy. We're going to have these people on here as well. So now, just give me 1 sec. Now, you can hear me
That's
now?
all right. Sorry about that.
No, you're fine. It's a bit tricky my end. No, I appreciate it. I'd rather you be able to hear me than not. So hopefully that's better. Is it now?
A lot better. Now, what I was doing, still doing it now, it's echoing, which is annoying because I'm hearing feedback on myself.
Yep. Which unfortunately can be the service from time to time. I'm probably a little bit remiss, Lance, of me. I suppose initially I should ask you your new role, if you like, at Harness Racing Victoria and the position you have now.
Actually, the harness racing advisor.
Yep.
I take all feedback back to the management team. If anybody out there has an issue, they get in contact with me, and I can take it back and we can get it sorted instead of the old channels like it used to take a month.
Yep.
To get to them, but it's virtually done straight away.
Yep, and try and quicken things up, if you like, speed things along.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, some things have got to be dealt with pretty quickly, and I'm in the position that I can do it. I really appreciate the role. I enjoy the role. I didn't realise it was going to be as stressful as it is sometimes, but it's a very good role.
So I would imagine it's a little bit rewarding and also very frustrating. Would that be fair?
It is. It is very. Some days I become so stressed out that I think to myself, "What am I doing this for?" But I love the industry. I love the people involved, and I'm confident we've got a great management team in there that are doing a great job, and they all love harness racing, which is a major thing.
It is definitely a major thing. I'll get back to my initial question, mate. Your first thoughts when you were advised, I suppose, and told, briefed, if you like, about the new look race calendar?
My first thoughts were that at least we're going to know where we're going on the nights that we're racing on those nights, and it's going to be a situation where you'll know that Tuesday you're racing at this track, Wednesday this track, Thursday Milton, Friday Geelong with Geelong. It's going to be a lot better for the participants, and it gives you some certainty to what's going on in your life, and you can sort of set your week around it.
And that is important, because the other part that you have had, mate, has been a professional trainer, had some of the best horses going in the business, but also happy to take a lot of horses to racetracks where they can win, and you've done that for many a moon. And I mentioned the part with the good team, because even Greg Sugar's just at the minute, actually understanding where the horses are racing while you're away, or if you come back on a set day, there is that component, which I'm sure a lot of people would not have even thought about. For the professionals, it will make things a lot easier just to get their head around certain parts of it. Yeah,
I think that's exactly right. No track is closing. I'm dead against them for closing tracks, which is that's not happening. You've got tracks. Every track has got a role, and it's just going to work around getting the structure right. It's not in concrete. It's a basic structure, and they can set their program to when they want to race.
Yeah.
On those days. So.
And I think that part's pretty. We've got to try and make that clear, that it's not set in concrete, because, as I said then when I was reading out the initial one that's out there now, the brief said that it was going to be Charlton and Maryborough racing on a Wednesday and Bendigo of a Wednesday night, and yet straight away there's a Hamilton, because that's what fits in with Hamilton. It fitted in with the other two tracks, so they were prepared to sort of bend and move where they can to fit people in.
Yeah, I think that's great way to do it.
Yeah, it is indeed. Just for the record, Lance, I really appreciate that, because Diane's horse just ran fourth, mate. Went okay. Looked like it was going to loom right into it. Probably just got a little bit tired the last 100, but battled it out. Didn't stop, but it still ran a very nice fourth. So that's Freak Out. So that's at Ballarat. And again, we talk about, as participants, yourself and I and plenty of other people out there are parents, if you like, and have young families and families involved in the industry, and yourself with Leilani and Diane at the minute, knowing where they are when you're at home and when you get home from working at Flemington, knowing where they're going to be makes a big difference, doesn't it?
It does. It makes a difference, because you know where they're going to be. You know what time to expect them home, and they can pick to their racing patterns a bit better if they want to go closer. They can, but as you know, sometimes you've just got to go out to the country tracks if you've got the country horses, and all those tracks play a really big part in the racing industry, because they all link up together, and that's going to be part of the tracks working together if they want to run their meetings at a certain time of the year in that area, so they can link up with their districts and their other tracks, and it could be a really good sort of system they can make and build something of it.
Yeah, and one of the things is that the clubs have been asked to give their preferred dates, preferred times of when they want to be racing. So trying to work with the clubs, especially the smaller clubs, to fit them into the calendar.
Yeah, well, that's I think the panels have got to a position where they want everybody to be as happy as we can. We've got a situation where we've got to get the maximum dollars out of our turnover. So we've sort of got to race on those nights that produce that money, and that's how it's got to be structured. And I think they're more on top of it now. They look at stuff like day-to-day figures and week to week, and it's different to what it was a few years ago. It's more hands-on. They sort of trying to structure it and get their system together so they know what their potential income is.
Yeah, and I was there yesterday, and you were in the office with me. I was able to basically see the real live figures each day to day of tracks and TAB turnover and field sizes. They've got it all there. They can actually physically see it. So they're not things that they're guesstimating and putting on. They're probably putting them on spreadsheets at some points, but they've got the data, and it's live data. It's not data that's been accumulated and it's a year old.
Well, the beautiful thing about it is you actually know what direction you're travelling. I mean, it's no good having a slump in your turnover and not knowing about it until 6 months after it's finished. So, you know, like instantaneous, they can tell you from week to week how we're travelling, which direction we're going in. So what I've seen, Michael Till and the boys in there do a great job. And I really, really appreciate that they've shared me in on all the statistics. And it is exciting that things have turned around. I'm confident. I feel confident that we are going the right direction.
Yeah, and I think that's really important. We've got plenty of people watching. Brett Coffey, Dennis Bice, Alex Ashwood, I'll get to him. We've got Kiwis watching as well. This is it's not something new. I'm watching Bathurst Harness at the minute. I've got the trots going on there. Bathurst Harness always race on a Wednesday, and that's not something new to Australia. You and I were talking yesterday. It's Tom Patterson, a few of the guys in New Zealand. Cambridge are going to start racing on a Tuesday for pretty much every day of the year now. They're going to give up their Friday night slots and go to just purely racing on a Tuesday, which is not ideal for anyone, but they understand that the industry needs to be racing twice on the North Island for what it'll do for TAB turnover, and they want Auckland to succeed. So for this, that meant that Cambridge, the second track in the North Island, has to race on a Tuesday evening, which is not ideal. But I know, talking to David Branch and all of those guys, they're just like, well, we've got to make something of it. We've got to pull our socks up and make something of it. So it is something that's happening right across the world. It happens everywhere in America and overseas as well.
Well, if you love the industry and you want it to survive, you've got to make the changes and you've got to be accommodating. And look, it will grow. I'm confident we're in the right direction. And I really have to apologise for this feedback because I'm getting about a 10-second lag on you, so
no,
feels like it.
It's all good. It could be my end. It might be your end. I don't know. Actually, it possibly is my end. Hang on one sec, Lance. I might actually. Sorry, I didn't realise. I have this weird thing. I can't. Is that better? Has that made it better, mate, or not? Oh, hang on. But I just got rid of you. Hang on one sec. Where's he gone now? I just got to put him back onto that. You better there now? Is that better now? Hopefully, Lance, can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Very good. Hopefully that's fixed that up. It's a unique thing. Sorry about that. It is actually my end. I can't have Wi-Fi when I ring people, but if I do anything else on my phone, I need to have Wi-Fi. So it's a very frustrating little house that we live in. Jeffrey Dixon, evening, Paul. Reckon the calendar should suit a lot of the trainers, etc., but you'll still get the ones that won't be happy. And look, that's fair enough too, Jeff. And Jeff's a thoroughbred person. They don't have that, but there is a lot of things starting to move in that galloping direction as well. With like they have Friday nights at Moonee Valley, Cranbourne as well, and now starting to move into that night slot times as well. So this will also shore us up, knowing who our competitors are, and I mean that in a nice way, but working with them together.
Yeah, exactly. And I think we've got to work together if we want to survive, because there's only so much leisure dollar to go around. So we've got to get the best we can out of it. No,
absolutely. I totally agree, Lance. I thank you for coming on and just giving me your side. I apologise for the phone feedback. I do. I have too many things going on here. I forget to do the odd thing from time to time. But I do appreciate it. As I said, you also had a horse race at the same time, so even better still from that point of view. But, and if people, the other part of that, Lance, if people have a concern, they don't want to necessarily go to anyone at HRV, they can contact you and you can discuss it with them.
Yeah, that's great. Anything at all. If you've got any concerns and you want to talk to me, just come up and chat to me, and I'll keep it confidential. If it has to be passed on, it can be. But it's another way to get an ear into the office and get things fixed up before they get into trouble. Yep.
No, I agree, and I think it's exciting, and I think it's a good new future, and it's good to hear that side of it, Lance. It was good to catch you actually in there the other day. I was happy, and hopefully I've had other discussions with Matt about potentially doing other things in the office so people can understand how a lot of that part of the world works, because it's not exactly what you see or think, is it?
It is not what you think it's going to be like. It's racing, and I think that they're a good team.
Yep, no, absolutely. Lance, thank you very much. I'll reach out to you in future when we have some more other issues, and hopefully you can get finished with all the rugs before the girls get home.
Cheers, Paul.
Thank you very much. It was Lance Justice. I apologise for that feedback there. It may have been my end, may not have been, because I think when I came back to him, it was still giving him a bit of grief. But anyway, so hopefully people, Sonia Ma, Peter Ward, Kayleen Ward, get involved, ask your questions if you like. We can get in touch with other people going forward. Louise Toolman, hello to you, Louise. Of course, good timing. I've got the Harasta Trotters ticker underneath. Of course, the breeders of Champion Trotter and Just Believe. But also Royal Dan was a good winner again, another son of Orlando Vici the other day. Alex Ashwood, hello to you, my friend.
Hey, Polly.
You can hear me okay?
Yeah, hear you pretty loud and clear.
Very, very good one. Thank you very much for joining me. I just had Lance Justice. All I'm trying to do tonight, I'm not playing favourites or anything. I'm just trying to get people's, I suppose, opinions of the new calendar and how it may or may not look. What were your initial thoughts, mate, when you saw it and heard it, how it was going to be structured, even in a rough plan?
Yeah, I actually all for the fixed calendar. It's good for us. You can outline your week and you know what's going to happen consistently every week. But I think if it's going to work, it has to be consistent going forward. Programming has to be like spot on, so everyone in their region doesn't have to travel as much. So it's pretty exciting.
Hey, Alex, give me 2 secs. I'm going to swap phones. A different phone number will ring you, mate. It'll be me. I'll try a different phone and see if we can get a better line. It might be my service here by the looks tonight, I think. So I'll just try something different, mate, because we're only getting every other word you say. So just give me 2 secs and I'll ring you back.
Okay.
Sorry about this, guys. I'll just got to try something different here because that's a wee bit frustrating. It's just going to take me 2 secs. Just give me a second. Because I've got to do that. I've just got to swap a couple of things over here very, very quickly. Hopefully this does work. And we can get this one right. So we should be good to go very, very quickly. I've just got to get Alex's name hopefully in a second. There he is. Right. So hopefully this is better. It may have been that phone, so...
Can you hear me now, Paul?
Yes, I can, and there's still that crackle, so I don't know if it's what that is. It might be something at your end, mate, but it doesn't matter. It'll be okay. We'll deal with it. We won't lose too much sleep over it, that's for sure. So, sorry, your initial thoughts when you saw the calendar?
Yeah, I was pretty excited about it. There's nothing more pleasing that you know what you're going to get every week in, week out, and where you have to race consistently, so you can plan events a couple of weeks events. Sorry.
You can plan. You can plan your social life, basically, can't you?
Yeah, 100%.
Yep. And that's got to be important for yourself and Taylor. You're young. You want to get out and meet people and be able to have a life, but you also love the industry, both of you as well. Yeah,
that's it. Like at the moment, you just don't know what you're going to do the next day to the other. But going forward with this fixed calendar, it's you can have more of a social life and have not be tied up with horses 24/7.
The Mildura trip, Mildura has been brought up with a few comments on a few pages, one of mine and one of the industry ones. People raising concerns about racing in daytime and that. How tough is the night trip consistently, Alex, on you guys?
Actually, if you ask probably Jack, Ellen and myself, we actually prefer the night meetings just because you don't waste a day. Like if it's a day meeting, you have to get up about 4 o'clock in the morning and get your horses done, then hit the road by 6:37, and then you get home anywhere between say 11 and 12. So, and if it's a night meeting, for example, you get home anywhere between 3 and 3:30. So, it's only a 3-hour difference. Yeah, if you work it out that way.
Yeah. So it won't necessarily benefit you. Will that mean you may not look at those day meetings?
Like if I can take a full fleet up there, I'll probably go during the day. But in saying that, I'd prefer if they were night meetings.
So with the calendar where you're based at the minute, I work out that you've probably got Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday nights within an hour's drive of where you are. You've got Melton. Then I'm not sure how far Melton is for you. Does that put pressure on you to probably change the stable a little bit and maybe concentrate more on those horses looking to go that next level and go to the Melbourne class horses now, mate? Would that be something on your radar?
Yeah, 100%. Even we changed our model a bit. Like we went to the sales this year and targeted to get some up and going babies for next year. So, like it is very taxing when you're on the road all the time. So, like you said, going forward, like there's 3 or 4 tracks that's only an hour from us. So, which is great, which we're pretty central. So, yeah, at the end of the day, like we can't keep them going to Mildura forever. It does take a toll, but
yep.
Yeah, well, like I think Tay and I both want better horses in the stable, that's for sure. Yes. And
this will give you a goal as well, and you'll be able to say to the owners that you want those midweek horses, if you like. I think that's possibly something that people may not have, may not necessarily have thought of. And I suppose you can get caught in a hamster wheel sometimes, can't you? That you can constantly be going to Mildura because it's on and not realising the other meetings. Whereas this way, you'll be able to plan. Like I say, you can sit down a week in advance, know what horses you're going to be racing at what tracks, and be able to go from there.
Yeah, 100%. Another thing is, like, I like to get down to Cranbourne, but if it's on a Monday till Friday, you don't want to go because you get stuck in peak hour traffic. And if it's on a Sunday, you get a good run down and you get home at a reasonable time. And to be honest, the quality of horses down there are nearly on par with the ones at Mildura. So if Cranbourne is on a Sunday, we'll probably be more likely to go to Cranbourne with them lower end sort of horses compared to Mildura.
And not waste a day, because conversely, when you go to Mildura during the week, it can be a 3.5 hour trip allowing. Sometimes you can get a great run and it only takes you an hour and a half, hour and 45. But other times it just doesn't quite work that way.
Yeah, that's it. And like as everyone knows, if you get stuck on the ring road and going for the tunnel, it's pretty daunting.
Liam Older and a couple of the others were on there just before. Young drivers, do you think this will benefit a lot of these guys as well to be able to probably stay in the game and maybe not get as frustrated, as some of us probably can over the journey?
Yeah, I think so. And if you have a look at now with junior drivers, they get more of a go than ever before. They can claim 250 winners, and now they've got them claiming races like we seen last night at Bendigo. So they're getting a better go than ever before. And so if they got the ability, they just need go on ride on through.
Yeah, very good, mate. All right, thank you. Really do appreciate it. Double last night. Well done.
Thank you.
Good result.
Yeah, I can't complain.
And the team's going a lot better. You'd be happy with how everything's starting to go. As you say, just trying to lift the bar, I suppose, and try and find those next couple of horses.
Yeah, that's it. Like you just have to keep on turning them over and just keep on taking new horses on, and hopefully the next one will through the doors a bit better than the last one.
Yep, no, absolutely. Mate, thank you. I'll call out one day. Call out and have a look, but I appreciate it. Appreciate the feedback into Mildura. It's interesting that you find the night meetings a little bit easier for you, albeit that you're actually working harder and doing longer hours. But it seems a little bit backward that way in a way. But I do understand what you're saying. To be able to get a day's work done, you can still do that and then go to the trots that night, albeit you'll be tired when you get home. And a couple of hours difference. So it's a different way. As I say, that's why I'm asking 3 different people to get a different idea of these races and how things might suit. So yeah.
And another thing about Mildura too, like it's a lot of hobbyists are up there too, and most of them have got full-time jobs or part-time jobs, and it probably even makes sense if they race at Friday night consistently. It's okay to have the odd day meeting here or there, but yeah, I think it'd be more beneficial if they race at night for everyone up there. Just one, the weather for summer, 2 for the locals who are just hobbyists, but we need these hobbyists in the sport anyway to keep everything tick along as well. But yeah, I think it just makes sense if they go nighttime.
Yep, no, absolutely. Mate, thank you. I was actually going to hang up the wrong phone. I realised I'd rang you on the other phone number. So, yep, thank you very much for that, mate. Appreciate your input and, yeah, continue doing what you're doing. Enjoy tonight off as well. So something in Ballarat in the middle of winter. You'll get your Thursday nights off. You'll be able to start playing pool, mate.
Yeah, I can pool or a game of golf in the afternoon or something like that.
Yeah, the cold of Ballarat for a pure Tasmanian. It's bad luck, but anyway, that's all right. All right, mate. Thank you very much. Appreciate your feedback.
Thanks, Pollock.
We had Alex Ashwood there as well, so different side of things. Possibly not quite what I was after. I thought the day meetings might have appealed to him more, but yeah, he was saying there that they probably prefer being able to travel to the night ones. It's not as hard. They get a bit of a routine. They can get their horses worked in the mornings. So yeah, so as I said, different feedback all the way. David Scott, let's see. We'll just see if David Scott will answer. Dave, if you're watching, I'm going to ring you on a different phone number, mate. So hopefully he might answer this one with all going well. We'll just see. Hello, Amy Tubbs. Please, if anyone's got any questions or anything they want to put into it, please feel free. David?
G'day, Paul.
Thank you very much, mate. Always a bit daunting, isn't it, when you have a different number and you're thinking, well, I wonder if this is him or not. But thank you very much for joining me tonight. I really appreciate it. And I will also say thank you to the Cranbourne Harness Racing Club for sharing this interview, because I wanted to get it out there to as many people as we can, but also I want to keep growing what we're doing and celebrating the industry. And by sharing it, more people get to see it. So I do appreciate that part right off the get-go, mate.
No, happy to do that. Thanks, Paul.
Cranbourne Harness Racing Club, are you on the committee there still?
Yeah, I am.
Yes, I wasn't sure. That was one of those ones I was about to ask it, and I wasn't. I mean, my association with you has been probably since COVID, I suppose, a lot greater. You guys have got the training centre there. You've also got racetrack. You also have a shared agreement there with the greyhounds and the thoroughbred industry as well with the, is it called Trios, I think? Your restaurant as well.
Yeah.
So there's a few layers to this that does get affected by. But the other part of this, Dave, you're actually an owner and a breeder. So what were your initial thoughts when you saw this new look calendar? How could you see this? In what light did you see this happening, helping, or maybe not helping?
Okay, so not specifically from a club perspective, but I guess I was pleased that it was clear that it was change imminent, and the generational change is not just change at margin. My understanding is come on board is the situation we face, the grave one, and that now looking at by which we get our income.
Hey, Dave.
And with
I
also manage.
You there, Dave?
Yeah.
We're only getting every second word. I don't know what is going on with these phones tonight. It's a bit frustrating. I'm going to ring you back on the other line. Gail Crisp just said to me then, Paul, can you say hello to David Scott for me? Dale Crispy is what she said. So I'm sure you're aware of that. Give me 2 secs. I'll ring you back on my normal line, mate, and hopefully we get a better line. I'm just having a few phone issues here tonight, which is frustrating. So, yeah. Sorry about this, guys. Does happen from time to time, but I'm not sure. Not actually sure what is going on, why it's doing it, but it just seems to be we're able to get Alex pretty good, but yeah, you could just hear it just then. David was terrible. So hopefully Telstra is better. It's got nothing to do with paying my bills, I can tell you that. They're two different phone companies, and both of them are giving me a hard time tonight. So let's see how we go this time.
Hello again.
Hopefully this is better. I apologise for this. Normally I have no issues with the phones, and I'm having nothing but issues tonight. So I do apologise for this, mate. Sorry, you were saying there before, we might get you just to start again, but your initial thoughts when you heard about the calendar, and probably once you saw it as well.
Yeah, well, I guess from a owner perspective, from a club perspective, I was pleased to know that there was significant change afoot.
You're pleased to know that there was significant changes at foot.
I was.
Great.
It's possibly disappointing that we haven't had a clear understanding of the gravity of the situation that I think had been more aware of that over the last few years. We're probably receptive to earlier change and change at that.
Yep.
But it appears now that sort of generational change now ahead, starting with the race, and equally important, a review of our overall cost structure.
Unfortunately, we're just not getting enough of this, David. It's a bit frustrating, this.
Yeah, I'm sorry, mate.
No, you're right. We're just every now and then you just miss out, and then you started talking. Then go again. Keep going. You might be right now.
Okay. So yes, specifically with regard to the calendar, it's pleasing to think that there's efforts made to maximise our strong wage, and clearly the calendar is catalyst for that.
Not sure what to do here. Frustrating, to say the least. Frustrating as I think it might be David's end as much as anything. Oh, that's not going to work. Hang on a sec. I do apologise. This is annoying, very annoying. And David's saying some great points, and I've got no doubt about it. We'll go with this one, and we're just going to stick with this one, and we'll just hopefully work our way through it.
Take three.
Take three, and continue on. It actually sounds like it's better now. I've gone back to the first phone, so hopefully it's better now.
All right. Look, in short, I'm just pleased that the moves afoot. Is that better?
Yes. Yep. You.
Okay. The moves afoot to actually grow our revenue, maximise our wagering outcome. Clearly, the calendar has relied on the position where we the strongest performances on given. That clearly had an adverse effect on the number, and I empathise. In the longer term, if we're able to maximise wagering income and stay in the industry, that's a course of action I applaud.
Yep. Dave?
Yeah.
I reckon we might give this a miss because this is just not working, and it's very, very frustrating. I think what I'll do is try and get you at another time. Actually, I'll tell you what. Just bear with me for 1 minute. I am going to try something very stupid just here at the minute. Everyone else will be able to hear me. You'll be able to hear me. I won't be able to hear you, David, if you talk back to me. I'm actually going to put my phone outside and just see if I can't get a better reception. So everyone's listening to me, but I can't hear you back, David. So just give me a sec while I, if it is my end, hopefully I should have a bit better reception out there. Not sure whether I'll still be able to hear you, but we'll give it a go. Anyway, are you still there, my friend?
I am.
Very good. Right, let's try this. It's very different what I just did, that's for sure. Rightio. So maximising wagering turnover and things are what this industry needs. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
Yep.
I empathise with clubs who've had a number of excellently games up in the head, but I do applaud the work that Club Victoria has done with H in moderating changes that were to the calendar.
Yep. Cranbourne racing on a Sunday, your thoughts initially on that? Was that something that you guys were proactive for?
Yeah, we've been doing a strategy built on two pillars over the last decade. First of those was to invest heavily in the development centre on course to populate our local horse population, our horse fields.
Yep.
And the second of those would pursue a Sunday race that aids that is the track through the city. It's our catchment area, like in Melbourne, Geelong, and even, about Cranbourne on Sunday, but getting to us on a Saturday. We can only be the best version of what we want to be by racing on a Sunday.
Yeah, David, I'm going to give this a miss, mate. I apologise. It just gets a little bit, it's not doing you any justice. It's not doing me any justice anyway either. I'm not sure who it is with us at the minute. It might be my end, it might be your end. Possibly my end, because I've had trouble with all 3 phone calls today. So the beauty of living in the country and out of nowhere. But what I will do, David, we will catch up and we will have a proper discussion about this in the next day or two, whether it's remotely or I can come and see you and go from there. But I appreciate you coming on, mate. I do definitely apologise for this. It's just a very, very bad line that we've tried 3 different ways of doing something with it. And yeah, I think we're better off giving it a miss, and we'll catch up in the next couple of days.
Yep. Pleased to do it all the time.
No, very, very good. I think, David, I'll get you to hang up too, because my phone's out on the patio. So, yeah, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Unfortunately, that was a little bit frustrating just then for David. Yeah, just I'll get back to you. Both you guys, both Michael Gadsden and Helen Windsor-Smith, just give me a sec and I'll get back to you. I know you guys can still hear me. I can't hear you, but we've got to get the phone back inside because I actually need it, hopefully for one more phone call. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do that one or not. Big fields at Charlton tomorrow afternoon, 12 horses from the training centre plus more locals. Victoria visitors as far as Mount Gambier, Mildura and Melton, which is great to see, and we can have a look at those. There's a race at at Ballarat about to come up, a 2-year-old trot. Committee, the communication lines aren't working well tonight. As a listener, really hard to make out sense. Damn shame, because I would love to hear from David Sorts. Helen, I will get David on. I might even try and get him on. I don't normally have an issue with any of these things, so it is a bit frustrating. I've got one more person to try as a phone call, so we might try him. It may be my end. Which phone was I using? This one. I'll have to sorry, a bit going on here with these buttons, but yeah, I'm not sure why it's doing this, but what I will do, we'll be able to work it out, because if it's, it just seems a little bit spasmodic, to say the least. Oh, I don't want him to answer actually, because I didn't do something. We need to turn that one on, and we need to go to that one before we can get to them. Yes, Helen, I agree. David was talking a lot of sense actually, and was given a lot of input back to that. Let's hopefully, now I've had Darren on quite regularly, and we have a very, very good phone line, so hopefully Darren will be there. Now, why is that not going through my phone? This is what happens when you chop and change things too many times. Darren, I know you're there because I can hear you. But for some reason, you're there now. That's good. You're right now, mate?
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you, and I'm happy to say I can hear you clearly, which might mean that, I don't want to pick on David, but it might have been David Scott's end with the phone line by the looks, with a bit of luck anyway, so, which is disappointing, but that's what happens sometimes with these connections. How are you, my friend?
I'm very well. How are you, Paul?
Good. Good. We've had a pretty robust sort of night tonight talking about the new racing calendar. It's something that Queenslanders have had for a fair period of time, a regular racing time slot, I suppose.
Yeah, we pretty much know where we run each day. Week to week, there's a small change of Sundays and Mondays as the 6th day on the 7 days. Some days we go to 7. But by and by, we know Tuesday, Friday, Saturday, Albion Park, Wednesday, Thursday, Redcliffe, and then Sunday, the Marburg Redcliffe, or perhaps an extra one thrown in there somewhere, which is maybe a grass track at Kilcoy or what have you.
Yep, yep. So, but the main part of your meeting is structured, which means that the main people, betting in the TABs, actually know when they are on. And that's what it's, the main thing about it is that's what it's about, is consistency. It's not to favour some people in certain areas, it's actually just about consistency.
Yeah, that's right. And like you say, the consistency is across the board. A punter goes into the pub on a Tuesday, it's at Albion Park, and they know that there's pretty strong fields on the Tuesday, and Wednesday, if you look at Redcliffe tonight, it's a little bit of a change-up because they've got the Trot Rods final night.
Yep.
But by and by, 8 to 10 races on a Wednesday night at Redcliffe, and then they go again Thursday afternoon.
No, and people know exactly where they are. Chris Finazio just won the 2-year-old trot actually at Ballarat just then with I Am Hellbound. The second horse's name has got me. I tell you what, VYTIS. It's by Volstead. It possibly will have some connotation back to the alcohol and things along those with the Volstead pup. Maybe not. I don't know. But yeah, VYTIS. That's my great mate D Hibbard was calling. So yeah, if I had turned up, I might have been able to hear him. Rightio. Vitus must be it, but yeah, it's interesting the way it's spelt. But yeah, I'd love to find out a little bit more about how that name came about. Rightio, Queensland, plenty happening in Queensland right at the minute, with you guys up there. Exciting new race was open today. Now you've got to tell me what order. We haven't spoken about this. You've sent me through a lot of slides, and you also need to tell me the website at some point in time, and I'll try and get that up as well. But the crux of the announcement today from Queensland Racing.
So announced tonight is the Ultimate Driver Championship sponsored by Ladbrokes. It's effectively a slot race for drivers.
Yep.
Now what that entails, individuals, or what we're trying to promote are syndicates to buy a slot. They then negotiate with any driver they wish from anywhere in the world, provided they are A grade or equivalent, and they get that negotiation. That is their driver in the slot, in the race series. It'll be over 2 nights, 20 races. And then if anyone is familiar with the Trot Rod's driver draft system, it will follow a similar format for the 10 drivers. There are 10 slots. So slot holders confirm they'll get, depending on which race they're drawn, they'll get first pick of the horses that are drawn up in that field. So someone will come in, first draft pick, Leap to Fame in the Open is our horse.
Yep.
And Chris Venasio, he's your slot driver. He's driving Leap to Fame. And we'll go through that same format over the 10 races on the night of a draft of picking your runners.
Right. So this is going to be an occasion. It's not going to be one race. It's going to, yeah.
It's 20 races.
Yeah.
Two 10-card nights.
Yeah.
To be held in February next year, 2025. 10 slots. Now, one slot is taken by Ladbrokes as the sponsor.
Yep.
So there will be 9 slots available. Applications close on the 31st of July. The website that I'll give you, Paul, has got all the details. It's got the terms and conditions, the application form, all that sort of stuff that you need. Now, as I've mentioned before, we are looking, when the applications come in, syndicates that are going to promote the sport and bring in the most eyes to the sport will be favoured over individuals.
Right.
And there's a little spiel where you need to do how you're going to promote your slot, how you're going to promote the sport. And the judging panel of those applications and who gets the slots will take all that into consideration.
Mark Gurry's just come on then. Not sure if Grant Dixon would like to hand the reins of Leap to Fame across to anybody. Of course, he's probably not going to be one of the horses, but we sell the dream first and foremost. So that's what we actually do.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just using that
Yep.
as a bit of an example, and
Well, one of the horses
and
here is
I'm sure Chris would love to get the reins of Leg to Run.
yeah, well, we've got Just Believe and Greg Sugars there as well. And then two pictures with Larry. One is Stadium and one is Salute. I'd love to know what they mean, but there might just be nothing other than they're just graphics for me.
Yeah, just graphics. Don't read too much into those, Paul. They're just trying to, put the bright lights on the sport, and he's our shining star, so he's a bit of the poster boy, even though he's by Bettor's Delight.
Even though he's by Bettor's Delight, listen, you be careful there, and they're supporters there as well. But I know what you're saying. He's an Australian horse, and the other horse is by Orlando Vici, incidentally, which is he's a harassed trotters, both great supporters of Campbell's comments. What's the website, my friend?
So racingqueensland.com.au/industry.
Hang on. Typing's not my thing.
Can you go to the Creek's Twitter? It's on there.
No, I can't on this computer. You had to do that to me, didn't you? Give me a sec. We'll just see how this goes. Go to there. What was the next? Oh, that's not it. Bugging me. I don't know what that was. I just opened up. Look, we'll go racing.
How about this one? Google.
Yep.
Racing Queensland Ultimate Driver.
Oh, okay. We could do that.
Harness.
Right, we'll see if this works.
And it's one of the top spots there, I should say, Ultimate Driver Championship.
Ladbrokes Ultimate Driver Championship. So that's got to be it, doesn't it? Rightio.
That's it.
Now we are here on the website. So this will give an update of everything that is on this, I gather. So we've got the Ladbrokes Ultimate Driver, the spiel that I would imagine you've pretty much gone through most of those things. Going from there, slot holders will also receive $1,000 for each race winner through so that it's $100,000 first prize plus $1,000 for each race they win.
So the slot holders, it's points based through the 20 races of their driver's performance.
Yep.
So, and like you say, $1,000 for each race winner as well.
Yep. Plus, because obviously the people who own the horses will get the prize money of the said races.
Exactly. Yep.
Yep. Great to see there, Jody Jamieson. He loves Australia. He's not real keen on the heat, so he's getting him there in February could be a worry. But anyway, the Ultimate Driver has the opportunity to become the greatest show on dirt. It's a very exciting event that is sure to, I'm not sure what that word means, pique the interest of the drivers and racing and sporting fans, not just in Australia, but across the globe. Of course, two-time world champion driver, that is Jody Jamieson, and then Timmy Tetrick. I absolutely love the concept. The Ladbrokes Ultimate Drivers Championship, this type of innovation brings energy, excitement to reward our fans and fellow horse lovers. What a fantastic way to add interest to the sport of harness racing on a global level. And then, of course, Dean Shannon, it's a terrific concept, nothing like we've seen before, and we'd love to add an international flavour to it. It would be great to see some of the best drivers from around the world going at it across 20 races in Albion Park. The unique part of this, Darren, is the timing, which will fit so well with a lot of these guys, overseas guys being able to get across here.
Yeah, and that's the idea, trying to attract some of those top drivers. And when it comes down to it, whoever the slot holders are, they get to choose whoever they want, and they can get in negotiations with any of those Northern Hemisphere guys
Yep.
and girls.
And that's what we want. We want to be able to get people and this international flavour. One of the reasons I had half an inkling that this was coming was because basically I did an interview with Timmy Tetrick the other day, and he's one of the best in the world. He is also just a very, very passionate person about the industry, loves the industry, loves promoting it. So I'd imagine once Bricky made the phone call to him, it would have been excited both sides of the phone, I'd imagine.
Yeah, I'd imagine so. And he's been down here before and he loves it down here. It's just make sure we get him that proper UFO bike.
Oh, is that one of the stipulations, is it?
I just remember a few years back there was a bit of an issue with the bike he wanted to use.
Yes, yeah, that was in Sydney, I think it was, from memory. So, and actually, Jody was over as well, I believe. I reckon Jody was there representing Canada as well. So, and Jody's been over a couple of times. Helen Windsor-Smith, getting a slot in this Queensland Race Initiative, is this really targeted towards the financial heavyweights? It's probably an interesting question. To be honest, we probably need financial heavyweights in our industry to make it grow forward. So there's possibly a double-edged sword to that. Would that be fair, Darren?
That's fair, but there's also nothing to say that, you put your own syndicate together of 20 people. If you throw in $20,000 a head, there's your $20,000 for your syndicate spot. And you imagine 20 minds coming together of how you're going to promote your slot and the networks that could come together of those 20 people of who you could potentially get as your driver, and then to bring them to Albion Park and how you go about just the fun side of that for $1,000 a throw for 2 race meetings, how much fun you could have out of that money.
Brad Steele has said here the selection of the slot holders will preference to syndicates, but not necessarily preference to the bigger syndicates or things along those lines. Is that fair?
And that's where I sort of come back to where I mentioned, Paul, about the applications. Have that piece in there where you need to stipulate what you're going to do with your slot and how you're going to promote the driver you've got involved, the concept, and the sporters in general.
Yep. And Helen Windsor Riley again. So how does a person become part of a syndicate? I would imagine, I'm going to throw you under the bus in a little way, but I'd imagine getting people involved, if they want to get involved, would be to ring you guys and start the ball rolling that way. They might know someone that's got 4 or 5 people in a syndicate and they want a couple more, so probably to contact the Creek would be a fair way to get started.
Yeah, 100%, Paul. You can give me a call and we can talk that through. But, basically what we're looking at is to get as many eyes as we can. And to do that, if you get bigger syndicates, you get more people involved. They have more family, more friends who talk to their family and friends, who talk friends of friends, and it's that whole exponential growth.
Yep, and be able to change it that way and get it going there. Taylor French is watching. Toby McKinnon's actually watching. Toby be thinking through his SEN hat. He might be able to organise a syndicate. He might be able to get himself up there with this. It is a really novel concept, but it's actually something that's serious for the industry to be looked at in a different light. Would that be fair?
Yeah, exactly. And it's a way of getting different eyes on it.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing to say that we don't get a group of thoroughbred owners, greyhound owners, other sports. Like, you imagine a syndicate coming together of your local footy club,
yep,
throwing in and buying a slot, coming up to Brisbane in February for a holiday, and what that entails. And there's already talk of how the on-track experience will come together for the slot holders. There's talk of, I think at the moment it's like called a pit lane. Basically a setup where all the, your 10 slots have your marquee, almost like a pit garage, where the drivers can come in between races and confer that style of setup.
Yep, and get a bit more involvement that way as well.
Yeah, exactly, and get those people down on the track, hands-on, where all the action is, where the colour is, where any of us who have been around the stables and know how much of a sort of a buzz you can get out of that. Yeah. Getting people that perhaps have never experienced that to come down and be fully immersed in it.
And listen to how these people talk in between races and things like that. Race 6 of the hot rods, hot rods, is it? Trot rods. Trot rods. There was a false start just then. Anyone wondering? Unfortunately, it was a false start. It'll probably get bumped to Sky 2. I think I can change that while I'm watching here. I'm not sure. I've got it on a laptop.
If you're on Sky 2, it's full dedicated trot rods coverage, Paul.
Yeah, I know, but you don't get Ballarat. But that's okay. I'll go
Sorry, I was being Queensland facetious.
I'll go that way now, and you can actually watch it. And that is a great innovative thing, which we will touch on in a second. I'll keep an eye on this race. I've already flicked it over to there. We've got Anna from Juniton. She's watching as well. Linda Scott. Now, I'm not sure who Linda Scott is, but I think she might be a greyhound lady, but I'm not 100% sure if it's the same person. David Brio from Ballarat. You said there before about a football club. You know, you want big syndicates. You guys want, imagine a football league. You know, the Loddon Valley Football League got together and bought a
So how many teams would you have in that competition?
That's exactly right. You could have, even if it's a small league, you might have 8 teams of 18 players, 64, 80, 144 going quick. Am I right?
So
144.
So you imagine if the league put out to the 8 teams.
Yep.
For the 20,000, if you all throw in, what's that?
We'd have
20 divided by 8 to 2,400 approximately.
Yep.
For your club to put in this slot, and you're the winning slot holder for that.
Yep.
You then get your driver. Imagine the experience you could have with that.
I'd love to be showing this trot rods right at the minute. I love the Speedo. They have the Speedo on them. I'm not sure who's carrying it in this race. It might be Leonard Kane. I'm not going to do it because I'll get shut down straight away. Is it Leonard Kane that's got it? No, Brendan Barnes. He was out wide. Oh no, there might be 2 cameraed up, so I'm not sure which one it was actually. It might have been Leonard Kane, but he was out wide and he was running some time. And yeah, and they also have a record line. This is amazingly innovative stuff. Makes it for a great TV sport. I need to get talking to Queensland Harness Racing. I could have a full show down here dedicated to what's going on with this at the same time. I don't think Sky.
Yeah,
I don't think Sky would like that. They're not going to break the record. Anyone watching that record line's awesome. They were ahead of the line for a while, but they're getting a bit tired, the boys, and that's what unfortunately happened.
That last 70 metres is a killer.
Yes. Yeah, I think one before broke the record though, if I was watching correctly. I think I might be wrong. What is it? Yeah, it was 64.4. So that's it there. So the race before, Feel and Flirty, went 64.4, and I'm pretty sure that's a record. I think they were, no, 38 may not be it. Oh, that's unfortunate. I don't know. You'll have to do some work on that and tell me if that's it.
Yeah, I haven't actually watched the last couple, Paul. I just finished cleaning up after dinner.
And looked after the
sticky rib stir fry tonight.
Looking after the third three-legged dog that you took fishing. That's a very, very random in-joke from the pair of us. Mark Gary, wouldn't February conflict with Victoria's Summer of Glory, Hunter Cup, Great Southern Star? They always work around these sorts of things, that's for sure.
It could, but ultimately too, it's about the drivers, and I know the horses are a big part of that, and we want some of the better horses performing. But realistically, like you said before, like a Leap to Fame, those type of horses, Grant Dixon's not just going to throw the keys to someone who's potentially a slot holder, are they?
No, exactly. Those sort of horses won't. But the quality of driver that you're getting, you would be hoping that you can get, some really, good horses for these guys to drive to be able to show their wares.
Exactly, and we get those metropolitan quality horses, perhaps not the top tier free-for-all grand circuit style horses that will be in those races contesting those, features like the Hunter Cup and those others in the calendar around then. But we get, our genuine free-for-allers, metro quality horses.
Yep.
It's going to be a great spectacle either way.
Rightio, Trot Rods is on tonight. Let's discuss that while we're talking about it. But the best drivers will be in the big races. Yeah, so Mark's worried that if you're on the same nights as those, you may not get those drivers, and that could be an issue as well.
Yeah, and the other part of that too is we haven't actually announced an actual date of those races. So there's every chance it doesn't clash at all, Mark. I know that is the time that those races are on.
Yep.
But we've been innovative up till now, there's nothing to say we don't innovate in other ways.
No, and imagine if you put them on a Friday night, and I'm not telling you guys how to suck a lemon by any stretch, but if they were on a Friday night and then Timmy Tetrick's able to come down and drive in a Great Southern Star or a Hunter Cup, those things are still possible as well. So, or a Sunday, you could have a Sunday afternoon. It's one of those things. I'm sure you've got plenty of options ticking along there at the minute.
Yeah, exactly. And like you say, a Sunday, what better than a Sunday roast and watch the best drivers in the world going around?
Roast lamb or roast beef?
Pig on the spit.
You had to do that, didn't you? You take the dog fishing first and then you'll go and get that. Trot rods, how has it been received? We've got, how many heats we got tonight? We're down to about heat 20 tonight. One, how's it been received by participants?
It's grown year on year. It's going really well. I think this is the 50, off the top of my head, 4th or 5th anyway. And I think it goes really well in the way that 2 races every Wednesday night for 5 weeks. And then in the 6th week, the whole night, the 10 races. So it totals 20 races in all up.
Yep.
And that's effectively the trot rod season.
Yep.
So it doesn't go too long in that it saturates the normal racing, and away we go with
it's
the
not,
horses.
It's not the future of the industry by any stretch, but it is a way of selling the industry and people seeing it in a different light. Like I said just then, seeing the Speedo, and they were almost hitting the red down the back. And then it's funny because we said that they're pitter-pattering up the straight. It gives people an understanding of, you go too hard at certain spots, you can't get home. And that, don't get me wrong, those 2 horses fought the finish out. I haven't got the volume up, but they did fought the finish out. So, but yeah, it gives people an understanding of when you go to the well a bit early.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a different set of eyes. It's a different format. Like you said, bring perhaps some different people in who have never, watched the sport previously or seen it, not knowing what it's about. And it's, while I don't want to call it a novelty, but effectively that's what it is.
Yep.
And which is why it's held to effective season. It's not every week in the program. Everyone knows that it's there. It's 2 races off the calendar for 5 weeks and then one night where it fills up. And if you look at tomorrow's races at Redcliffe, potentially most of the horses that would have been going around tonight in full fields are getting runs tomorrow. There's 11 races at tomorrow at Redcliffe.
Yeah, so no one's any of the loser. And if it turns over, better TAB turnover or gets one person more interested in the sport, we're better for it.
Yeah, exactly. And also it gives the opportunity to trial any of these innovations.
Yep. Yeah.
They can go out in these races, test how it works, and if it goes well, introduce it into the mainstream population races.
I've got a desk underneath my desk to keep a lot of the panels that I have sort of out of sight, so I've got a bit more room on my desk. And I've always been worried about kneeing it. I just did it, and it's very painful. Don't anyway. I had the gob open. I was like, man, not allowed to swear, but I did feel like it. Rightio, while we have got you with the Winter Carnival fast approaching, I think we had a few updates. The Proto Star, talk about it for a minute with Aaron Dunn's little horse winning again the other night. 40 Love, Rafa, as he's more affectionately known. You'd be excited about what he might be able to offer to the Proto Star?
Yeah, it was super the other night. Good time as well, and it was great that while he hasn't officially declared him, you'd be 99% sure that he's the one that's going to take Aaron's slot. So really looking forward to that. So we've got a few locked away now. Fadeawaits for Ladbrokes. The Highland Reel for Jamie Dernberger Smith. Bittersweet for Goose Dolphin.
Yep.
My Ultimate Barney for Darren Garrard Racing.
Yep.
and the other one that has been announced is Sagano, and that will be for Greg Mitchell Racing.
Okay, very, very good. We've got some power players on right at the minute. Cambrai, Duncan McPherson. Duncan's overseas, so hello to you, Duncan. I'll catch up with him when he gets back because he was at the elite lot. But while we've got those guys on the trotters, the Great Square, how's it starting to shape up?
Yeah, it's been one that's a bit iffy at the moment. We've had sort of a couple of pullouts from invites, so there's still only 3 invites officially replied to.
Bet and Win.
So Rockin' With Attitude, London to a Brick as the defending champion, and Bet and Win.
Yep.
Now, London to a Brick, he's been a little bit disappointing, I would say, through his trials and then his race the other night.
Yep.
But I guess Jimmy Rattray's got time on his side.
Yep.
There has been a meeting earlier this week, and there'll be a few more invites going out over the next couple of days.
Yep. Okay.
So I can't obviously
you
let on what they are.
You
but
can't give me the scoop. Is that what you're saying on who may or may not?
Not quite.
No,
not quite yet. But I would imagine that there's probably some people that listen to your show who would be happy with the news.
With a phone call to come to them. Oh, they might. No, I won't go there. I was going to be very, very cheeky just then, and no, I won't be. And I think you know where I was going to go with that. I'm just Melton Trials still not on Harness Web. How did Rockin' With Attitude trial the other night? I'm not sure what's going on, whether I'm doing something wrong or not. But oh, hang on, hit the wrong button. Melton are up.
You probably don't want to bring up Victorian trials with me, Paul.
No, but it's okay.
That is one of my biggest bugbears.
I've got it to work, so it's okay. So I'm just trying to find, because she trialled against Elderbaron Zeus. They said Elderbaron Zeus was outstanding. So there's Mufasa Metro. Mark Gurry is on. Rockin' With Attitudes ran 3rd. So it was ahead by 6 by 2.5. He's All Muscle was the winner, beating Elderbaron Zeus, Mufasa Metro. 155.5 last mile, if you don't mind, umpire. That's not
pretty good going.
I'm tipping Mark.
Imagine if you could just click on the horse name in the Hartray website and find that info.
It is coming. It is actually. It is coming. Mark said gallop just before the line. Curious who galloped just before the line. Susan Branch, hello to you. Of course, from Cambridge. I was talking about Cambridge there before. I wonder which horse galloped just prior to the line, Mark, if you don't mind. But Chris Finozio does have a horse. I don't know if he's going to be ready or not, but a horse called Love Me Too. Have you had discussions at all with Chris in relation to where he might be?
Yeah, I swapped a few messages with Chris. That horse is in the paddock.
Bugger. That's a pity. That's a pity for the carnival. Hopefully they can get him right. I think he's got a few little issues, but he's a serious horse if they can get him right. Of course, he won the Great Northern Derby and he won a heat of the Victorian Derby. So, Rockin' With Attitude galloped just prior to the line. So she's probably gone very, very good, I'd say. Well, that's good for her, and she'll get a bit of a barrier advantage over a few of her main rivals as well.
Yeah, so as it stands, she'd probably been about barrier 3 or 4.
Yep, depending on who else comes.
Depending what 3-year-olds are in the field.
The Rising Sun.
Yeah, so a few locked away there. The Lost Storm, who Victorian would have seen the other night, return in style.
Yep.
Just held on, so he's there. Frankie Ferocious, we haven't seen since the Chariots, but he's ticking along nicely by all reports. Lux Saturna has accepted the 3-year-old filly for Ricky Shear. The other one with Lux Saturna was Captain's Knock.
Yep, and that isn't that camp going enormous?
They are huge at the moment. They've got quite a few.
And I believe he's coming to Queensland.
And they potentially could have a few more in the Rising Sun.
Is Extreme C coming for the Rising Sun?
He has been issued an invite.
And there's
by all reports that will be accepted by either tomorrow or the day after.
Yeah, because the talk is that he was going anyway to Queensland, so he'll go to.
That he was coming to the carnival.
Yeah, so you would imagine he'd be going for that race. So yeah, we speak of the devil, and the devil shines. Chris Finozio just won that race just then, actually. So yeah, Ross Payne in the sulky, but he hasn't had a bad night actually. Snooze, he's won the last two. So, yeah, it's a good night at the office for him. But yeah, so although the 2-year-olds, GB Brave, I wonder what it was by to New Zealand, it was by Better's Delight and to Georgina Bell. So big group of owners in that. So well done to those. Eva Justice, hello to you, Ev. Had your uncle on earlier on in the night. It's quite an interesting thing, Darren. Victorians mustn't pay our phone bill. Your phone's been as terrific. I've had no issues at all with your phone line, but those other boys were starting to make me feel a bit bad. I was thinking, geez, I've got to fix my phone lines up, but it's clearly not my end. It must be a bit going on in Victoria by the sounds.
Well, it might have something to do with the air, Paul. You're sitting inside at the moment. What's the temperature you got?
It would be a balmy 23, 24 degrees.
If you walked outside?
It was cold when I put the phone out, I can tell you.
Well, I'm sitting outside at the moment in shorts and a shirt.
Yeah, and I hope you choke on your Wheaties too, but that's okay. We won't let that won't let that worry you. Wouldn't it be nice? I just keep flicking backwards to the Sky too. Wouldn't it be nice if we could just have a harness racing channel, as well as have it on the mainstream? But yeah, anyway, that encompasses all of those. But yeah, that's another story for another day. How's everything else for Queensland? What else have we got to cover off on? I get sidetracked very easy.
Yeah, no, everything else ticking along nicely. Leap to Fame back at the races this Saturday night.
Yep.
So he got a tricky draw inside the second line. So he's likely probably to be 3 fence early and needing some luck. Did some stats on him today. He has, I think, 15 attempts at the mire at Albion Park. Amazingly, 10 of those were in his 2-year-old season. So since he's stepped out of his 2-year-old season, he's only gone over the mile 5 times. And one of those was the Be Good Johnny sprint last year where he got locked away.
Yep.
And missed the money. And the other runs have been the Inter-Dominion Heat, which he won,
yep,
the Sunshine Sprint, which he won, and his first run back in January this year.
Got Michael Torino watching. Hello to you, Mickey. Hopefully you're well. Yeah, it's an interesting little stat. They're funny how those ones come up. So he had 10 starts as a 2-year-old over the mile around Albion Park because he would have had other, Miracle Mile, of course, idiot. Nearly got myself into trouble. Yeah. I nearly got myself into trouble there, but it is
exclusive to the Albion Park Mile.
Yeah.
15 starts.
Yeah, but it's great to have him back. Of course, he'll be there over the Winter Carnival, and he's a great fillet for Queensland harness racing. That horse, full stop, isn't he?
Oh, he is, and it was great to have him at the trials last week and just watch him go about his business. And he is just a pure racehorse.
He just floats,
and he knows he is good.
Yep. It's he's a little bit like Just Believe. They're sort of cool dudes and everything else like that, but they actually have that. They do have that little bit of swagger. Just Believe's probably a little bit more nonchalant, but I would imagine if Leap to Fame had had the ultimate operation, he possibly would be a lot more like Just Believe. But I mean, on the track, they just do their job with no major fanfare. They just do the job.
Yep, and I think those ones, when they're going as quick as they are, and they don't even look like they're going quick, that's when they're good.
Yeah, and Just Believe the other night, I thought, geez, he's walking down the back straight. He's getting away with murder here, Greg Sugars, and it was 27.8. And you start looking at all the other horses and you're thinking, oh, yeah, he is actually running a bit of time, that's for sure.
And that was like it was in the trial. His middle half in the trial was 56 and change, low 57s. And then rattled off 26 and a bit home. Didn't look like he was even moving.
Yep. And done it there. Your hometown, mate, I'm just watching Bathurst. The Turnbulls, they've all got the neckies on, the ear hoods on. I was thinking they're getting a bit soft, and then I was thinking, no, hang on, I've been to Bathurst in summertime, and it can be very, very fresh. You must miss, you say about being in shorts and that. Yeah, it's up there with Ballarat, isn't it?
Oh, it can be brutal. You get softer the older you get, I think, because if I go back home there in winter, I carry on like a bloody second-hand whippersnapper. It's whinging and carrying on all over the place.
I don't blame you. I know that. Just quickly, I saw a good little post from Jack Butler. Things are going in the right direction, which is good to see.
Yeah, I had a bit of a check to him a couple of weeks ago, and he was saying he gets a little bit knocked around by some of his treatment, but by and by he seems to be going pretty well with it. So he hopes he's got positive news and got to it in time.
Yep.
Which it appears he has. So, which is great news.
I think it's just good to see the smiling face. Like a couple of those posts when he's been there. It's just good to see him happy and up and about.
Yeah, exactly. And he's got young Mitch Turnbull has come up with a team helping out around the place as well. And I think Mitch might have got caught by the Queensland bug as well. He won't be going home anytime soon.
He is a fair weather player. Fair to say though.
He'd be one of the tallest drivers going around, I reckon.
Yep. And he doesn't mind an interview. Have you noticed that when you walk up with a microphone, he seems to strut he sort of gravitates to you. He doesn't go backwards.
He doesn't mind a photo when I go and ask him for a photo after he drives the winner.
He's got a big smile.
Does the hair up, the whole deal.
He does indeed. I don't think the younger version either, the younger cousin's much better, either young Jet. He seems to like a camera and that, but he's a whiz. He's a good kid to celebrate what he's doing in the industry, I must say. So the Turnbulls actually trifected that race while we're going there. Paz de Cheval beat old Luke and Nathan. Caesar's deck. Anyway, Caesar's
Well,
deck.
you talk about families and records. Danielle Vivas, she's married. Danielle McMullen.
Yep.
So the third in line of the McMullen four, Pete, Narissa, Danielle, Talia.
Yep.
So on Friday night, Danielle drove her 500th career win.
On top
now,
of,
I know we don't.
Yeah.
Sorry?
No, I was going to say on top of Pete driving 3,000, a week earlier?
Yeah. So I was going to say, we don't have that many families where three sisters compete.
No.
There's a few, but not many. But now all three McMullen girls, have all driven 500 winners. So Talia got 500 last year. Danielle's at 500, and Narissa's already over 1,000.
Wow. That's a cool stat. And then you got Pete on top of that with 3,000.
Yeah, so I tallied up all four of them, and they were up to about 5,500, that give or take.
Wow. What about Dad? How many did Johnny have? 3 under the bus?
Yeah, so he would have had quite a few, but some of those probably before those records are, fully accurate.
Yep. I think that's one of the things about with Chris Elford. It's not less than what he's driven. It's more because there's some chance that there was horses missed at certain spots. They're pretty confident they got 90% of them, 99% of them. But, they can't be, because early on in Chris's career, he's a couple of years older than me, and we used to get paid by cheques and cash for our drivers. Everyone used to want to take the numbers back because you got, I think it was $20. And I must admit, I got a shock in my life when a kid took my number back at Albury, and then someone said, you get cash for that. I did run after him very quickly because it was one of the last ones to still do it. But back in the day, 1988, that would have been, you take your number back and you got your driver's fee of $20. And then you had to remember to go to the secretary's office before you left to get all your checks. And I'm sure there'd be some old secretaries who remember those days and would just shake their heads at the people coming in and the banter that was going on. It would have been crazy. So, but anyway. We need Anthony Butt to drive a winner in one of these trot rides, mate. It's good to have him up there. I had him on a couple of weeks ago and he was Mr. in all the mail, but he needs to get a winner for him.
He hasn't got one yet?
He's got one in it, but he hasn't had a winner yet. He got beat a half head earlier on, so yeah.
Well, hopefully he can get a winner.
How do they do the cameras? Is it just, I see Leonard's got a camera on now. Is it randomly picked or is it, because...
I think they've switched it up over the night. So the first 2 or 3 races was 2 drivers, then they swapped it out to the next couple and then try them out. So
Yeah, they've definitely got them on 2 again in this.
yeah, they've had them on 2 per race.
I think it's Nathan Rothwell.
And I know they've definitely changed them because Nathan Dawson drove the first winner and he didn't have it on, and then by race 3 and 4 he had one on.
Yeah, so Nathan Rothwell.
So he actually drove.
Sorry, mate.
Yeah, sorry, Nathan Roth.
No, he's got one on.
Rothwell.
He's definitely got one on in this, and I think I saw Leonard Kane with one on as well, with Miss Strepo. I think so. There's definitely 2 in it, and there's one on one on a sulky, I think too.
Nathan, yeah, they've had him on there as well.
Yeah.
They've had him on the sulky doing the 360.
Yep. Yep.
So they've done that.
Did you see? Did you see the footage? Anyone, and this is for anyone out there. I'm going to be in all sorts of trouble. He does the. You would have seen it. The driver leaning back and the horse putting his head over in front of his head when he had the 360 on. Did you see that the other day?
I did see that.
I can't think of the Chris Godding, I think his name is. He's brilliant.
Yeah, Chris Godden or Gooden.
Yeah. It's actually funny because one of the Goddens is actually Jimmy's on here as a minute, but it's a very similar name to him. And yeah, some of the media stuff. If you don't follow him on any of the platforms you're on because he's outstanding the stuff he puts up. But yeah, that was brilliant. That was.
It was, and the horse sort of coming up and have a look over his shoulder, and he turned around to see what was going on.
Yeah, and captured people, caught people in a different light, which is what we need going forward. So if you are watching me and you got me on your phone, just go and turn on the Sky 2 because race 7 at Redcliffe is over 947 metres. It's a dash. It's basically one lap and a touch, isn't it?
Yep. I think as the arms fold back, the bell rings.
Is that how it works? And of course, it's a triangle track. And Ants was pretty confident. He said, I know my way around triangle tracks. But, yeah, I think I told this story a few times. I only ever drove there once, and I was on a leader. And they said to me, watch the peg down the back. Watch the peg down the back. I'm like, oh, yeah, no worries. And it went straight through the horse's legs because I didn't watch it. It just popped up there as it saw it. I think Nathan Dawson's off and in front and is off. Answers 3 back the fence. Leonard Kane. So the cameras are back out the back. So Brendan Barnes, Bonnie's Dance, I believe, is running. No, that's the 2. Miss Strepo. Oh, Leonard Kane. So Leonard doesn't have a camera on. Wow, the camera's on the inside of Anthony Butt. He's there, and the other camera is 3 deep at the minute. It'd be nice if they have it. 55, 56 kilometres an hour, and Leonard is in a whole world of hurt there as we speak. No, sorry, Nathan Rothwell, that is. No, it's not. It was Brendan Barnes. Okay, Brendan Barnes has got the camera. I've got myself confused. Nathan Rothwell's going to win this one, though, I think. Well, I'll tell you now, your camera is going to win and nearly run second, I reckon. The red line, the green line, sorry, yellow line is gone. No, the Victorian's coming back. He is a Kiwi, but the Victorian, how good am I going? I just mozzed those 2 boys with the camera, Darren. I don't know if you're watching that, but A-Butt has come through and won it, and he didn't have the camera on. Anyway, but Answer's got a winner, so he'll be up and about.
Yeah, that's good. It was a good chance, promising, I thought, in that race.
Yeah, he kicked back underneath them and beat them. Clinton McSwain, lot 48 in the Winter Woolies, is a majestic son out of Aldebaran Revenue. Just broke in for a vendor, and the video is uploaded online of her moving around. And I would imagine get in touch with Clinton if you want to know about that horse. And of course, that will be all next week. But that is the Winter Woolies for Woodlands. For Woodlands for Nutrien. I had a button I had to get rid of, and it was the Woodlands button I had to get rid of. Auction starts the 3rd of June, Monday the 3rd of June, and concludes on the 5th. This show will be pretty much next week. Will be the Winter Woolies show where we will be highlighting and capturing as they sell. Going through it can be madness. It can go for 20 minutes. It can go for nearly an hour. I think we've had one go for. So there's 205 lots. Contact Mark Barton and Gemma Smallman for more information. Mate, I'll let you go. I don't need to be. Susan Hunter is watching. Tony Villemic's watching. Of course, the crux of the story tonight was about the the new racing calendar and what people thought about it, and went from there. I did try to get Dave Scott on, but unfortunately the audio line was terrible. Happy to know that it wasn't my end. Cranbourne must have bad Wi-Fi or reception over there. But yeah, I was disappointed not to have got him on. But Darren, thank you. Huge news from Queensland with the drivers' slot race, run over 2 nights, 20 races, $100,000 in prize money. You can go to, I'll actually get it up for him, racingqueensland.com.au/industry/harness/ultimate driver challenge. The best way to do it is exactly what Darren said to me. Just Google Racing Queensland Ultimate Driver Championship for more information. Get the syndicates, get your brain thinking, think outside the square. You're a better chance of getting a chance in a slot if you've come up with a very, very novel idea. That'd be the best way to put it, would it not, mate?
Exactly. And while we said, it's $20,000, it may rule some people out, put your thinking cap on. Think of how you can get a syndicate together. If you've got a footy club, a cricket club, the netball girls, netball guys, whatever.
Yep. And
it's the easiest way to do it.
And if you want more information, contact the Creek. You can find their information across their socials. It is just the Creek. Is the website.com.au, and there's a contact details there where you'll be able to get in touch with anyone there. They'll put you in the right direction. They might not be able to answer your questions, but they'll put you in the right direction. Would be fair to say, Darren?
Yeah, and if you ring the Creek, chances are it'll either probably come through to me anyways.
Yep. So he's the secretary and everything else like that. So I got Mark Hughes on. He was on just a little while ago. Go CC International. They've given me a new name. So yeah, because of me Timmy Tetrick interview. So I've gone from Campbell's comments now. I'm CC International. So anyway, and to be right, I'll do anything that I'm told to do within reason. So it's all good, mate. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, I'll get you a new hat too. So we've got Leap to Fame merchandise on sale at the club, and they include hats.
Awesome. I look forward to that, and don't send one to Joe Pace because he's just a hat Nazi. He watches me hats. He looks at them. He wants to know what a certain hat is. He wants the limited edition Sweet Lou one, but that won't be happening. So yeah, mate. Thank you. Possibly won't have an update next week, but maybe in a week after that we'll try and catch up on the show as well. And might get you on early on, and you can come on the show. We'll talk about everything going forward because it'll be a lot closer. Then you'll have a lot more invites, know where a lot more people stand, and the Proto Star, the Great Square, probably some of the younger trotters as well, the 2 and 3 year old or 3 year old trotters coming up for the Oaks and the Derby, and those sorts of things as well. So plenty more information to come, and plenty more people looking forward to going to the warmer weather.
Yep, it is good.
Mate, thank you very much.
No worries. Thanks, Paul.
Darren Clayton there from Queensland, rubbing in the warm weather as well. So thank you. That's a bit of a wrap. I do apologise. Did try to get Dave Scott on a little bit earlier, but for whatever reason, his audio just did not want to work, didn't want to play the game for us, which was very, very frustrating to say the least. But yeah, anyway, going from there. Anyway, all right, thank you. Thank you to everyone. If you're still sitting at home and you're watching Ballarat Trots, don't forget, flick over to Sky 2 to watch the Redcliffe races, and you'll get to see all the speed and everything else along those lines. Chris Finazio's won the last 2 races. For what it's worth, I actually like the new racing calendar. I think it's exciting. I think it's going to open up a lot of options when you watch places like Redcliffe. We'll be able to do that at a track like Bendigo, Ballarat, Kilmore, Shepparton, doesn't matter. Designate one track to it because it could be every Wednesday night, Tuesday night. You can go from there. Maybe next year the trot rides could be Bendigo and Redcliffe because it is a Wednesday night. Might be able to have them 2 venues, 2 lots of trot rods, for 1 week. Something very, very different. But anyway, thank you. Thank you very much to everyone who has joined in and watched the show. Appreciate it. And I look forward to catching up with you guys all next Wednesday. As I said, next Wednesday will be the Winter Woolies Live. It'll probably start 5:30. I think I'm going to start the show probably half an hour earlier, get across a little bit of the news going forward from them, and continue to try and open it up and get it to a few more people. But for now, this has been On Loose Lines. I really appreciate all the feedback, everyone that's got involved in it, and I'll enjoy continuing to bring any sort of harness news coming that we can. Thank you very much.